Tom Weiss is the CEO of Sierra Space, a leading commercial space tech company that is building a platform in space to benefit life here on Earth. And he is joining me today to talk more about it on this episode of Taking Stock.
Sierra Space is it's a revolutionary space tech company. We're completely vertically integrated inside the company. And we're also the next generation defense tech prime. We really see that we're on the cusp of the most profound industrial revolution in history. And what our company brings is a full platform and technology service to offer space as a service to our customers for the next generation of biotech and industrial tech products.
So, Tom, you've been with the company nearly 3 years now. Can you talk to me about some of the biggest priorities that you've achieved and what you're focusing on this year?
The priority we've had over the last 3 years is really to focus on de-risking the portfolio, de-risking the business model, the technology stack. We've been growing a great leadership team, focus again on the commercial and civil side of space, but also on the defense tech side. In 2021, we did our Series A to fully capitalize the business at $1.4 billion. We followed that up with a Series B raise about $300 million. So we've raised about $1.7 billion to date.
What do you think is driving such success?
It really is because we bring such a revolutionary different approach to think about our space plane business, right? Our Dream Chaser product line. We're revolutionizing the way that people and cargo come back from space. If we think about, we've been bringing people back in sensitive cargo since the 1960s in a capsule and plunging them into the ocean. We come back and land at commercial runways. Very, very different. We're thinking about reinventing the space station and the in-space infrastructure. And we bring that commercial mindset and advanced technology to the defense side. And that's why we think about over the last really 10 months, we've announced we've won $1.3 billion in new contract awards as a prime contractor, going up against the big defense primes and beating them. So I think that's got a lot of excitement in the company. We've made a lot of progress, a lot of momentum, and I think that continues to get people excited about the stock.
So what can you tell us about this new winged vehicle? What makes it so significant?
The first vehicle we call Tenacity. The second vehicle is in production. We call it Reverence. Tenacity, it's the first of its kind. It's a completely autonomous spacecraft. It acts both as a spacecraft and an airplane. We're not building just the first commercial space plane. We're actually building the first commercial space liner. And the ability for it to come back and land anywhere a 737 MAX can land or an A321neo, it just gives you thousands of places to land across the world. And our customers really like that.
Incredible. I mean, what are you designing anything else that's going to be coming out in the next few years?
We're designing the first commercial space station.
Amazing.
Which, again, it really thinks about reinventing the space station. And we use inflatable technologies. Again, the first space station went up in the early 1970s. Every space station until now has been built with hard-walled metallic structures. And we just don't think it creates the right economics. So if you think about SpaceX, they really changed the game around the cost per pound to get things into orbit.
Yeah.
We're changing the game inside of orbit in terms of what the cost per cubic meter of actually doing work. So the first biotech labs, the first industrial tech labs, now is the time where the economics allows companies to go to space to invent their next products.
So what would you say is your biggest motivator behind that?
Well, we look at what we're trying to do, and we just think this planet is very unique. We're not the company that's trying to get to Mars. We're not the companies trying to find a way to have just billionaires doing tourism in space. We think about 8 billion people on the planet. We think about oncology. We think about longevity. We think about the next generation of energy and battery technologies that will do really great things for humanity. And now we're on the cusp of actually being able to do that with the work that we're doing in transportation technologies, in space infrastructure. The way I like to think of this is in the biotech industry, the terrestrial market, it's a huge market. And a lot of what happens in the terrestrial market, biotech, is through contract research organizations, right? That's where they do the early clinical trial work. We're the first CRO in space for the biotech market. We're the first contract manufacturing organizations for industrial tech in low Earth orbit.
And I want to talk to you more about, just how human civilization is really entering the orbital age. What did you mean by that when you said it?
Yeah, we think of orbital age where people are now, instead of just a handful of astronauts, going to a government-owned space station, we're talking about commercialization of low Earth orbit, where you connect low Earth orbit and terrestrial markets in one market now, where people are very used to living and working in space in factories, and we're taking factories off the planet and we're putting them into space. That's going to really revolutionize the way we think about space going forward. Up until now, it's about what you could put in space. You'll put a satellite in space for internet services or direct-to-device or direct-to-internet. Um, we think about now it's a time what you can do in space, and new factories, new civilizations. We love the idea of new hotels, but we're really driven by the fact that we think we can have a major impact on humanity's lives. We think about, for example, one of the drugs we're working on is a leukemia drug. We know that we can produce it in space. Every 9 minutes, somebody in this country dies of leukemia. Yet, if we can figure out how we actually provide a treatment for that, that once and for all cures that. The president, the White House today has what they call the cancer moonshot. We think we have a potential answer to that.
So why couldn't you develop that drug here on Earth?
Because in space, it's really interesting that, it's just 250 miles above our head. The environment's very different. Microgravity fields, different convection fields, different radiation. So it allows you to do things with protein crystallization, whether that crystallization is for human proteins or whether that crystallization is for inorganic proteins or inorganic materials. But in biotech, we have shown over 30 years on the space station, International Space Station, we can actually create brand new drugs using the benefits of that technology, in this case, microgravity, that doesn't exist on the ground.
So do you think that civilization should just all go to space and we should, leave Earth behind?
No, we love Earth.
Yeah, well,
what we want to take to
but
space.
all these benefits that we're
we
getting
take the
in
factories
space.
up,
Oh,
right?
That's true.
If you think about it, we're uniquely tied to this planet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I spent a lot of my time developing the James Webb Space Telescope, and we've been looking for life off this planet. We've been looking for habitable planets. I don't want to live on Mars. I love this planet.
You don't want to go to the red planet?
No, I love this planet. And so our idea is let's get factories off the planet,
Yeah.
right? That allows us to protect the planet we have.
Yeah.
And let's use space in a way that lets us find that next breakthrough product that benefits us here on Earth.
That's incredible.
Let's protect this home. It's really unique, and find answers to our hardest problems using the benefits of space. That's our approach.
Making the world a better place through space.
Absolutely.
You heard it here first.
I love that. We built an entire company around that
Yes.
that ethos and that theme. I think it's unique. We go to space not to leave Earth. We go to space to protect Earth and benefit 8 billion people.
Very important work. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for joining me on Taking Stock.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.